Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope everybody is doing well. Welcome to my uh, YouTube channel and my screencast here as we will be playing some chess today on chess.com. I am a beginning level chess player under 1,000. I think I'm rated in the 940s right now. And this is just going to be a fun channel for me to kind of document my chess journey and hopefully show my improvements and maybe it helps you guys improve a little bit yourself. By no means am I an instructor or am I somebody that is going to make you that much better. It might make you laugh to watch me freak out when I lose or make a big mistake, and I'll try and post games that are good for me and then games that are bad for me as well, because obviously, you know, all exist. And so, most of the games that I do play, as you can see kind of right here, is you can see I play a lot of 15-10 games. I think that's kind of the lowest level game you want to play in terms of time limit if you're a beginning player, because without this increment, it would be harder. But with the increment, I think 15 minutes is enough. You can think about the moves that you're going to make, you can make good decisions. And so let's go ahead and try and find an opponent. I always have the option open for uh, a pretty high level to play. So as you can see here, we're going to be playing a 1029. So that's almost a full 100 points above me. Um, an Indian player. I'm not even going to try and say this username, but good luck to you. And he's going to open with a D4, excuse me, an E4 King's Pawn opening. I'll return the favor here with a E5 opening. Generally followed, obviously, by the King's Knight coming out, followed by this. This is the most common path, but he's going to go with the central variation. I always just take this piece. Um, I don't know that theoretically that's necessarily the best way to go, but I find it to be the best way to go. I want to get this queen out of here, so I'm going to open with the Queen's Knight. One thing to watch for is this queen is eyeing that G pawn. Not anymore, so we don't have to worry about that so much. But something, if they were to move back here, that would have been a problem. So now the candidate moves I'm looking at, you don't want to move this F pawn, in that's just not a move I'm willing to make this early. I do want to get this bishop out. Um, but getting this knight out too is something that I'm looking at as well. And I'm thinking maybe we just put this knight out to put some pressure on the D4 opening. He can't move this up because I'm covering the square with this knight. So, and getting these knights out early is obviously going to give you a little more control over the middle. As a beginning player, that's something I have to remind myself of all the time. So he brings out his kingside knight, and I'm going to go ahead and push this D4 pawn. Right now, I've got two defenders here, 1 and 2. So I'm feeling confident. He's got 2 attackers, 1, 2. So if he brought this knight out, it would be different. But I'm going to go ahead and move this up. It's going to allow both of these pieces to come out. He moves here, which is an interesting move. Because I can't really attack here in this situation, because if I take, then he takes. Now, one thing I could do is then come in with the queen right here, and then he can't move that knight, and I'm up a pawn. Now, there are a few ways he can come and defend it with this piece. He could also obviously move his f pawn too, but I can move this guy out. I don't know. It does muddy the waters quite a bit. I might be going a little too crazy on the drawing there. Sorry about that. This is my first video. Um, you guys are witnessing history, or maybe not so much. I'm also looking at moving here because it puts pressure on this piece, gives it another defender. One thing, and now this still has this defender, so I'm feeling a little more confident with that. So maybe that's what I do is move out here. Obviously he can move here, but then I can just take with tempo on the queen. So let's go ahead and do that, see where this leads. I'm not sure that this is going to be necessarily worthwhile. Again, I'm a beginning level chess player, so we will see. See how he attacks this. I guess one thing that he could do is move the queen over. I don't see that as a particularly good move. I know for me, I try not to line up my queen and my king. And so he does defend it with this. So if I take, he takes, or takes here probably. I take back. Yeah, I guess one thing, again, I don't love lining up my queen with my king, and it does take away an attacker here. So I think what I'll do first is I will move my light score bishop to protect this piece, and then try and find a way to attack this piece with my queen. We'll see. But you could see now this come out. I think that's a real possibility. Yeah. To try and force me to go there. Yeah, not a lot of great moves here. Okay, I got two defenders. He has two attackers. I'm not worried about this piece at the moment. One thing I'm looking at doing here that I don't know that he's aware of is I can fork the queen and the rook here if I get this dark score bishop out here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not seeing any issues with that at the moment. He's a little bit ahead on time, as you can see, but not to the point that I'm worried. Now, he could see this threat and move this piece. Beauty of that is I can attack and I can take here, and he cannot take back because it's with tempo on that queen. I don't think moving the queen to this square was a good square for the queen. Yes, it's protected, but I would have moved it all the way back to D1. So kind of getting into the middle game. I like my development. I've got all 4 of my minor pieces out. He's got 3 of his minor pieces out as white, still stuck here. I'm also looking at castling here pretty soon as well. So all those things I think are beneficial. And one thing that he could do to stop this is move this queen back here. Be a simple way to do it. Moving here would be a mistake because then I can take here because I have more attackers than he has defenders. Interesting. Attacking the queen. And again, you don't really love moving the F pawn. And I'm just debating, at this point, I'm just debating on whether or not I want to play without queens. I do think that I'm equipped to play without my queen. I think I'm going to try it. It'll be a queenless middle game. I like the fact that I'm completely developed and he's not completely developed. So let's go ahead and try that. If he takes here, I take back here. So I think that's a good move. If he does take, I think I'll take with my rook so that I can castle here. Probably on my... see, now this was a blunder. I was wondering if he was going to do this. This is a blunder, and why this is a blunder is... okay, is it a blunder? Because I know... Nope, I'm protecting this square, so he can't come in there. Why this is a blunder is I can take here. I'm pressuring this piece, and he can no longer recapture there. And I could take back, but I want to protect this queen. I do think that that's a bad move on his part. And again, yes, he can take here now, double up my c pawns, and that's what he's going to decide to do. But I'm not... Yeah. I'm up a pawn in this situation. I'm kind of okay with this. My middle is, in my opinion, much more secure. I'm eyeing this b pawn here too, putting some pressure on it. Thinking about even moving back here, offering a queen trade, but he has to keep in mind that this light score bishop now is the only protector of this square. So it's going to be hard for him to finish his development. I also have both of my bishops, and he's got a knight and a bishop. I think that I'm a little better set because of that. I am wondering if he's thinking of castling long, adding another piece to add to the attack here. I think that might actually be a good idea. If he does do that, I can bring over this rook to protect. Still have a few protectors here. 1, 2, 3, 3. And then if I add this rook here, 4 protectors, he would have 1, 2, 3 attackers. So feeling pretty good about this. I like my position. Um, this would be a big win for me. You know, winning over a 1,000+ player when you're 950 or below is a big deal. Um, and I'm a little ahead on time. He's going to move back and offer a queen trade. Interesting. Interesting move to offer a queen trade here. Yeah, very interesting move, I would say. I don't know that I want to do that yet. Um, yeah, I don't know that I want to do that. Again, if I go, he's protecting here now. This piece could attack. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to move here, sidestep that. I'm not necessarily ready to play without my queen. I think as black, it's more beneficial to play with your queen. Does allow this light score bishop to come out. Also looking at getting this piece to a safer ground. Okay. Maybe put a double attack here. Just move this piece, move my dark score bishop to the d6 square. I think I'll go ahead and do that because he is protecting it once. Most likely what he'll do is just go here, but makes it much more difficult for him to castle. And, I'm okay with that if it prevents him from castling. I'm also looking at moving here because he has 3 of his pieces, his king, his queen, and his knight, all lined up right there. And so I don't necessarily love that. So let me think about this a minute. I've been saying this, I really want a castle. I really want to do that. Another thing to look at here would be to move this rook over, attacking the b pawn. I hadn't really seen that, and I'm thinking now that maybe that's the move I should go with. Because this is then not an absolute pin, but it's a pin he's not going to want to give that up. Yeah, I don't know. And then he would only have this as the defender. So maybe we do move over this rook. Although this is not a bad move either, and it defends this piece. Ooh. Could lay down the check as well, moving to the h4 square. And this is a long think. I'm aware of that. What if, because I do think what he'll do is move here on the next move, so maybe that's not such an effective move. You know what? The hell with it. We'll go ahead and move this guy over, attacking this B pawn. If he moves up here, which is really his only option, or moving over this rook, but then that makes it so he can't castle to that side. That's a good thing, in my opinion. I like that. But if he does move that B pawn up, I think I would move here and get ready to possibly attack, because it would be a double attack on this piece, and he would only have this one defender. So if he does move up with the B pawn, yeah, that's starting to look more like a blunder the more I see that. So I would say he should probably move over with this rook. If he does that, I will look at moving here to attack this piece and not allow him to develop this knight. So he does do that. So I think that's not a good move. I think that that's going to end up being a blunder, because I don't know where he gets another defender for that square. And so now this is going to open some things up for me. So attacking with my queen, attacking with my bishop, which is now protected by my rook. A lot of good things happening here for me. In this middle game, still up one. Still up a pawn on this guy. 1029 out of India. During these crazy quarantine times, if you are suffering, I feel for you, and I hope that you and your family are doing well. Castles, maybe the right move, because it does take away the rook attack. However, I can just take that piece and he can't take back without me taking his queen and being up 4. So quick move there. Sidesteps that. I think one thing he might look at doing is trying to go here. I think what I'm going to do, but that would be easy enough. I could just move back here. Yeah, there's quite a bit I could do, so I'm not overly worried. One thing, I can lay a check down here too. That is interesting. Lay the check here. Make him go here. Look at possibly then moving in here and seeing my options. Also, attacking with this pawn, starting on the queen here, is starting to look like a solid move as well. And then going here, that would be a check. If he does do that, is there a way to attack? Because if I can line this up, that would be ideal. I don't think I can. But this is defended by 2 pieces. He's got... So let's say I move here. If he took here, I take here. Yeah. No, he couldn't take. That's an interesting move. But let's go ahead and castle. I think at this point that's the safe move. Yeah. Let's get castled. I think at this point that's the logical, safe move, the right move. Okay, so he does protect this piece now. but I'm starting to really like that option. I'm also thinking about bringing over one of these rooks, but I don't have to. I don't have to. Um, Although I can't lay the check down here now. Also looking at moves with my light score bishop. Maybe moving this light score bishop here, forcing this. Take here, he takes back. I don't know. Ooh, and then actually, how about we line up? Yeah, let's first line up a rook with this queen and then do that. Oh, yeah. We've got some real options here. Now it's just a matter of which rook we want to do that with, but I have got way less time. So I'm just going to make a decision, move my rook to fe8. Next move looking to go here. Ooh, okay. Well, I didn't see that. But what if we lay the check here, force him to come over, move here to attack this piece. One attacker, one defender. So we're good. And then he doesn't have anything to protect this now. I'm starting to think that that's going to end up being beneficial for me. I don't know that this was a good move. He moves up here, which is now protected by this, an interesting move. Doesn't allow me to come in, and that's what I was thinking about doing. Actually, though, I think that might be a mate because I can just come in here. There's nothing that can stop me. His rooks aren't connected. It's not a mate, but it's got to be close to it. Oh yeah, he's got to move back here. I go here. It's over. There we go. First video is going to end up being a win for me, it looks like, for all intents and purposes. So happy about the way I played. I think it also helps me as a player to just talk through these moves, to make solid decisions. And I encourage you guys to talk in the chat about what I did, how I can do better. I'll go over the post-mortem as well, because I think that's important to look at your games and see how you've done. Again, I've just started playing chess recently, so this is new to me. I've never had a chess coach. I started playing with my dad when I was younger, so he does move back, and here we go for the win. And so there we go. Plus 10 to my ELO rating there. Wants to play a rematch, and then quickly decides better because he saw how good I was. So if you guys want to challenge me in the future, my name on chess.com, which is where I play all the time, is FiendKetto91. Again, I'm Keaton, and thanks again for joining me, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Actually, let's go ahead and look at that post-mortem here. Not done yet. Jumped the gun a little bit. Sorry. My apologies. Take a second as we get this. Looked like there was one blunder, according to chess.com. His accuracy is saying it was 24.6. Mine was 86.2. Pretty happy with that. He had 2 blunders, it says. So, king's pawn opening, very common opening at this level. Center variation is not the best for white, from what I've read online, from the research that I've done. This is something that was played a long time ago. It's not played much anymore because it's not an advantage for white. It ends up being pretty even, and usually that's why people go with the Italian game or Rui Lopez so often. I just took there. That's the book move. Book move to take back. Book move to bring out the Queen's Knight. So, yeah, I was going to say that this didn't seem like the right move. They say the best move is to move there. Move in here to attack this piece. Takes his knight here. Saying this is the best move to attack here. And then, yeah, interestingly enough, he ends up going here. That they're saying is an inaccuracy. It's not a mistake, but it's an inaccuracy. And so, should have just taken here, which is kind of what I thought he would do. He doesn't. And so, how do I get to my next move? I got to move that around to see this. And so they do say that that's the best move. He follows it with another good move. Saying that's a mistake. They say move this F pawn. Again, if you listen to John Bartholomew's videos, the F pawn is known as the forget about it pawn. So I tend not to move that pawn because of that advice. Maybe that's bad advice in some, it's not, I would say it's not bad advice. It's just advice that is, there's exclusions to every rule, right? So then he moves out that piece in an inaccuracy. I bring out my dark score bishop. They do say that moving this D pawn up is the move here. And that does make sense because you attack with this and you've got the queen to follow. He can go here, but he can't follow with this queen without getting taken. So probably should have done that. Oh well, you live and you learn, right? Moving there, they say, is a mistake or a blunder, excuse me. I'm guessing they're going to say this move is a blunder too. Yeah, they say that's a mistake, not a blunder. He takes there, just an inaccuracy. I take back. They say that's the best move. He takes, say, it's an excellent move, but he could have gone back. And at this point, I'm up a pawn, and I'm feeling pretty good about my position. I'm much stronger in the center here, and I'm fully developed where he's not fully developed. This ended up being a big problem for him. This light score bishop being stuck back here ended up being one of the biggest problems for white. Moves back there. They say he should have moved here. I didn't understand offering the queen trade. They say do it. I don't feel bad about not doing that. I feel pretty confident. They say it's an inaccuracy. I don't really care. I like the way I played this. Um, Again, another inaccuracy. You can find a lot of inaccuracies if you look for them. And they do say that this was the best, one of the best moves. An alternate would have been to move out here, but I felt good about that. That's that was one of the reasons I really liked that move. I felt like it did a good job of attacking this piece. And so that was his next move. They say that was a mistake. He should have gone. Oh, he should have castled there. Yeah. No, that makes sense because then it adds the king as a defender to that square. Ah, that does make sense because then his next move is to do that. This is the best move for me. And then I can just end up taking. Good move there by him. I end up castling, and so they do say the best move is to move here. I was thinking about doing that, and they say he should have moved over to avoid that, but I lined up this piece here with the queen, which I was happy about. He then attacks here on the next move, which is an inaccuracy, which I agree with because it takes pressure off this piece and I could just move in there. Boom. That's what I do. He sidesteps. I mean, it's a forced move at that point. Attack this piece, which he then moves up here. If his rooks were connected, this wouldn't be as big of a deal, but it was because his rooks aren't connected. And so that was his second blunder. Obviously, I come in here next with the rook, and he has to then move back here, forced, and then that's the mate. And so there we go. Chess video number 1 in the books here. Again, I'm Keaton. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below and check out my videos as we try and improve together in this wonderful game of chess. Have a good one, everybody.